Hey everyone, Dan here. We're about a half hour after market close on Monday, June 21st. Today we're going to do our daily update on SoFi. Before we get into it, if you enjoy these videos, please hit the like and subscribe button. It helps a lot. And bear with me, I have a couple of other things to talk about today before we jump into SoFi. One, folks have been suggesting that I start to build another space to be able to interact with folks in case something would ever happen to the channel. I don't expect that to happen, but they suggested potentially like collecting email addresses so I could start a newsletter if and when I want to, and or like I said, if something happens here on YouTube, we can have another place to go. I can still communicate with folks. So in the description below, there's going to be a link to a Google form where you can stick your email address if you want to be on that. Again, I don't have any plans at the moment to like roll out a newsletter next week or next month or anything. But I do think there's some valuable things that could be sent out on a weekly basis or something in a newsletter. But I mostly was interested in it just so that, like I said, if we ever need another way to communicate, that we have it. Thanks for all the comments. It's definitely helpful. I'm going to continue to do SoFi daily for the foreseeable future. That was overwhelmingly the response from last week's video. And please keep the comments coming because folks share really good ideas. They ask really good questions. And that's very, very helpful. And also, if you are of the mindset of like, how can I help Dan spread the word about his channel? Just, stick vids that are interesting to you on Facebook, Twitter, Reddit, places like that, where people tend to click things and view them. Those things are really, really helpful. Okay, sorry for the long intro today, but let's get into it. So obviously a hard day for SoFi, down about 2.33%. The volume today, what we had mostly been looking for on this run up here was, as I was yelling previous to those days, we need volume, we need volume. Shorts seem to be kind of, laying low a little bit. So let's take advantage of this, get the volume high, get the price jacked up. And, we had been doing a really good job of that. Today, for whatever reason, on a Monday, falls off below the average volume by nearly 1 million. And, that's just, it sets it up for a situation where it's bound to have these red days when the volume dips so low. Also knowing that there's so much like short and distort manipulation still going on with the stock. I know we're waiting on a bunch of the data to verify those things, but I feel really confident that that's the case and that that's what it's going to show. So, this is just to reiterate, it does require this volume to be bumping up in order to keep the stock moving in a green direction. So speaking of like spreading the word and stuff, it's not just about the channel or the videos, but if you would like to help other folks, consider trade opportunities in SoFi, tell them why you think SoFi is a really interesting opportunity, a really great company. Folks message me all the time about what all of the long-term value of SoFi is and sort of what they see as a potential, a year, 2 years, 5 years from now. So, you should spread those words to people who might be interested. But, that's what I would be looking for in the coming days is like doubling this volume, like getting this like 7 million consistently. Even though it was such a red day, we are still just at the bottom of this channel, kind of batting around between this 22.63 and 22.36 price zone. That's just what happens when you have some of those tight price zones. Unfortunately, I don't like to put them, but if they're there, they're there. I mean, you saw the same thing here, right? But it did get caught again by the bottom of the channel for the time being, and so we'll see if it can bounce off of here and continue up the channel. I think it's more symbolic than anything now. I don't really think that a bunch of shorts that took positions and drove the price down way back here when we first identified that. So that was on the 2nd of June. We're now, I know it's not trading days, but we're 19 days from there. And I don't know that folks are really holding SoFi, those shares that they had borrowed then. I doubt it. I'm sure there was a bunch of taking profit here and then re-entering positions up here. But that said, they are still re-entering positions in much of the same place. So that symbolic victory of getting support at 25, I still think would be the next big thing. First big thing, volume. Second big thing, $25 support. That would be an incredible boost to the bulls in SoFi, I think. Not just because the price would be $3 higher, because I think that that opens up the opportunity for a big bullish run, not just because I think that there's a lot of shorts that have come back into this one, even though we don't have the data yet. But I think that it provides a bunch of sort of confirmation for, folks that have been wondering what the potential for SoFi is. And I think that sort of like running early on helps prove that to some folks. Also, there's nice price targets. I don't know if they have them uploaded here yet. Ortex was seeming to, this has a $25. There was a $30 rating also, right? I think Ortex had something on SoFi for the analysts. 2 buys, price target 27.50. So that would make sense. There's a 30 and a 25. I don't know why Webull doesn't show the 30 yet, but that's 20% potential upside. So there's a lot of really good positive things. Even the fact that it still is in this channel, even though it's toward the bottom of the channel, and it could break it tomorrow. I hope it doesn't, but it could. But there's a lot of really good things still happening with SoFi, and it kind of got caught under this recent topping out here. We saw the same thing happen back here. It's the same zone. We saw the same thing happen here. So this is a common selling off point. The nice thing about this one so far is the sell-off has been much less than we saw back here and back here for sure. I mean, that dipped all the way down below 20. This dipped all the way down to 2070. So, we're getting less selling pressure at these higher price points. And so that's, like I said, a big boost in the upper direction. But those are my big things. Hold this channel, get volume, get support at 25. And, we could be in a really good position to start to squeeze a bunch of these shorts out before we even have the confirmed data that the shorts are there. So, but I think there's enough indicators that is the case. So let's hop back over here, take a look at the daily short volume ratio. Again, in the 20s, 30s is ridiculously high, but mid to high 20s is very, very high. 20s in and of itself is very eyebrow raising. So shorts definitely continuing to pile in. I don't know what has happened with our good friend at iBorrowDesk that has the feed from Interactive Brokers. It has not been up and running since the 16th. I keep refreshing it, and just nothing is working. So I don't know exactly what the deal is, but I suspect that with the sell-off today being relatively low volume, I'm going to guess that there's a bunch of shorts that took advantage of that. The availability as it was almost exhausted. There's very, very low supply. And so I think that that's still the case. This is again why I think that SoFi will be back on that one of the more heavily shorted stocks once we get the next set of data. So potential to squeeze some folks out if we can continue up that channel for the rest of the week. Huge potential for bullish moves and sort of cleaning the clocks of the current short sellers if we can get 25 support. Additional immediate boost, I think, if we can show them that the rush of shorts that will come in, if this gets supported at 25, will be immense. And if it can then hold that support zone and not give way, I think there will be a clear squeeze that would happen after that point. It would take several days or maybe even a couple of weeks to play out of holding that support, holding. But I'm really, really confident that's how that would play out, because if they take those huge positions that we saw them take here and we saw them take here, they take it again at 25, but this time it gets support and it starts, holding strong, maybe even inching up bit by bit. They're paying a heavy fee. There's not really any other shares to borrow, to short anymore. And so that would put them in a position where they can't continue to sort of like average down their short position. And that could set off a squeeze at that point from recently piled in shorts. So, the other thing I'm waiting for in this one is the data for the fails to deliver. This is partly, I mean, no, this is totally just a product of the merger switchover and some of the delays and reporting issues that occur when that happens. There's many parts of the market that still run in very like archaic ways. I mean, even the T+2 is like a crazy, the whole settlement thing is really nuts to think of at this digital technological age and time in which we live. But that's a story for another time. All right, well, that will do it for today's video on SoFi. I hope you had an enjoyable start to your trading week. I wish you the best, and I will see you in the next video.